We've all seen the single hot moms in our areas, but this one was actually banned from volunteering at her school because she had an fans.
What's fans?
No one believes that, Bill.
I mean, I know what it is, but I don't use it.
Well, I use it, but I don't make content.
I make content, but I don't have any subscribers. Yeah.
Dude, you okay? That's a lot, man. So today's topic, an only mom is banned from volunteering at kids' school after losing a lawsuit.
Okay.
So the topic is going to be this mother, hot mom. I just want to throw it out there. Sure. This isn't an ad for their only, but it
is now.
It is now.
Yeah.
It is. This is a hot mom who also, besides being an only creator, she isn't just a mom. Like sometimes it's fake. They're pretending to be a mom. It's like hot moms in your area. This is a real mom in your area.
Yeah, they never are actually moms.
And the people in the PTA want her to not volunteer. They don't. I'm assuming it's mostly the mothers. I'm assuming it's mostly the wives and the mothers were
They're
like
jealous.
I don't think too many single dads were like, I hate this.
Sure.
We hate tits. No,
Yeah.
they're definitely okay with it.
Yeah. So Bill, you actually read this lawsuit, right?
I did. So this mom had gone in and was a volunteer. She had signed up to do the volunteer program at her school, and then without any notice, they were just like, you're off the list of volunteers.
Yeah.
And eventually found out that it was because they had discovered she was on an only model.
Yeah.
And so said, hey, we're revoking your ability to be a volunteer at the school. So she sued under a bunch of different things. First, kind of basic was just like free speech, like I should be able to do this speech and you shouldn't be able to restrict me. Said no due process because they just kicked her out without having an appeal or any kind of process. They just said, nope, you're off the list. Then other stuff. So it kind of got a little complicated because someone had anonymously sent the photos to the school administrators.
Karen.
Absolutely a Karen.
Karen move.
I mean, probably actually named Karen.
Almost
right?
certainly.
I mean,
Can't you just picture the haircut already?
yes. The indignation.
Yes. Oh, the righteous indignation.
Here's the problem though. You don't. There's no way to accidentally discover an OnlyFans. Like the OnlyFans is you're on Instagram and you can accidentally see a hot girl.
Incorrect.
Tell me about this.
Yes. If your, let's just theoretically say, Asian mother happens to come into the room while you are cleaning up, and she looks at your computer and she's like, what is this?
Oh, it could have been a mother finding a kid. Okay, I hadn't considered that. That is
now
interesting.
I don't know if this really matters, but like, how old are her kids?
This does matter. This is a good question.
Elementary school.
Okay.
Yeah. Okay, so it
an
wasn't
elementary
that. It
school.
probably wasn't that. Also, only
This wouldn't be like
These kids these days
some
are
high school
depraved.
kid figures out that his friend's mom is on OnlyFans. It's not that sort of situation.
Well, who knows, right? It could have been that some other mom discovered it on her high school kid. Then, kids of varying ages, they talk to the other moms. It gets around the community. This is the kind of stuff that a suburban family just wants to talk shit about.
Or this woman, the anonymous person who reported it, if she was a woman, finds out that her husband has been checking out the OnlyFans. Someone that they know.
I think that's the second most likely.
Yeah.
Is that some dad let it out or got discovered, and then it was like, oh, I fucking recognize Sandy.
Right.
She was at the cake bake.
yeah. So I have used OnlyFans. So
Okay.
I want to self-identify.
Personally, or you've used it as you've patronized it?
I've used it in every way. I think that it can be
You have both contributed and received contributions.
I have dated a girl who had an OnlyFans.
Okay.
And because of that, I've seen both sides of the OnlyFans. Okay. So I've seen the creator side of it. I've seen the user side of it. I'm not out there. I mean, it doesn't matter. I'm not gonna say, hey, I don't have 10 accounts.
No, it's not that you don't have the accounts. It's just you don't make any money on them.
I don't make money off of it, and
you're still a creator. No.
I just want to say, so the first thing that jumps out to me is there's age verification on OnlyFans.
Yes.
So at least on now, for us to believe it was a kid and not another parent, they would have had to get a fake ID, acquire.
Okay, shit. I'm gonna go with this is the most likely. The dad discovered. The dad was found out.
Or someone knew about it, and in these small towns, everybody wants to gossip about everybody. Word gets around.
Yeah.
She, this woman creates an account to verify that there is someone who's doing this, figures out that it's true, takes a bunch of screenshots, and then in a very cowardly manner sends it off to someone and says this person is banned from the, this person should be banned from the PTA.
So
Which is rude because PTA, as I understand it, stands for pussy, tits, and ass.
That's correct.
I mean, that's the
always what I
historical
understood it to
definition.
be, yeah.
Right,
Yeah.
right. But
So-
these changing times.
Sure.
I have a question, right? Because it's like, okay, only like I don't want them around the kids. Okay, what's next? Comedians? Like I say some wild stuff.
I'm
on
100%
stage.
against comedians. But so in this situation, which was interesting, is so she had already been volunteering and then they yanked her permission. She can still attend school activities. She can still be a part of the parent-teacher organization. She just can't actually be a volunteer. And so she had made notice of it. This was a couple years ago, and then finally filed a lawsuit. And just in the last couple of days, last week or two, has gotten a ruling from the trial court that she has across the board lost every single one of her claims. Just
hate it.
like no rights, no nothing.
Well, the implication, I assume, is no different than people who say, like, oh, I don't want, like, drag queens around my kids, which is, like, somehow through osmosis, the fact that this woman has an OnlyFans is going to permeate the fragile, innocent minds of the
Right.
children.
But
Right.
there's at least one other parent that is consuming only. So, and you're just letting that this person was allowed to anonymously snitch, right? I go back to Fruit of the Poisonous Tree or like chain of custody. I don't know. I'm making it up as I go along. But like, let's look at the chain of custody. You now have the ability for someone to anonymously go consume it. They're logging in, they're purchasing it, they're clicking on it. And they're like, ooh, this is good. But then that person's still volunteering with the kids. That person's not punished.
Yeah, I
here.
just think, I mean, as someone who has no legal background, it does feel like a Pandora's box sort of thing where it's like, if you are subject to be scrutinized based on your online activity, then every asshole dad with Oakleys commenting horrible things about Kamala is also deserving of
Right.
not being around people's kids because of the hateful things they say online. So
Right.
like,
Yeah.
where's the line then?
Yeah, it becomes. I mean, the implications of free speech are definitely there, and which is why she got past the early stages. Like her case didn't just get immediately tossed. It
Yeah.
went through discovery, and they went through and they like looked at all the communications and everything. And what ultimately came down, just to kind of run through it, is her main claims were like, "Hey, you didn't give me due process. You just kicked me out. 2, you shouldn't have been sending this stuff out to anyone else." So the media filed a public records request and was like, we want all of your communications, including the photos that you received, which they are allowed to do. And she sued the school district saying one of her claims was, you should not be able to share this with anyone else. So now the school is in a rock and a hard place because they had not voluntarily sent this information to anyone. They had just said, we pulled you off the list. That's it. They didn't make an announcement. They didn't send it to anyone. They just internally were like, we've made this decision. She's off, right? So we'll get back to the due process question. But the big issue was she was like, now it's spread all over. And now all these media are blah, blah, blah. And they're like, the court basically said, look, you already put this into the public domain by having an OnlyFans.
Yeah.
So the mere existence of the account, irrespective of the pictures, is a fact that anyone could know because you have to see who it is that you're signing with. And she used her same first name. Her only name is her same real first name.
Okay, I just want to say, I just realized that we've all been played. Like, it took me this long into this video to realize it. This is the most genius marketing. Like, either this single mom.
That's what I saw from the beginning.
I didn't get it until just now. I thought it was a
Yeah.
real civil rights issue, and now she's got all of us researching this important lawsuit on her only.
Go log in and pay to make sure, and
And just for context, what is that link exactly?
yeah, I'm gonna send it to you so you know how to avoid it. Yeah. But it's
You're not
crazy.
wrong. I mean, the part of me that's not cynical, which is a much smaller part of me, says, no, this isn't like a publicity stunt. This is somebody who like genuinely wants to be involved. And if that's the case, then it is kind of sad because like I don't have kids, but I would imagine it's not easy to always get volunteers to help out with things.
Right.
So here's someone who seemingly like actually wants to do that and be helpful.
Right.
And is being told like because of this extracurricular thing that you do, which has no bearing on any kids at that school.
Yeah.
You're not allowed to like be around anymore because you're a bad influence apparently.
Well, to get back to your point of kind of like where you draw the line, like, okay, let's say that you are a desired model for an art school. And so you go in partially nude, fully nude to be the model for artists, right? Let's say you happen to draw paintings that happen to have nudity in them. Like those don't seem that far away from being someone who takes photos of themselves partially or fully nude, right? Now I get there's the whole like pornography, you'll know it if you'll see it kind of a thing, right?
Right.
But at the end of the day, so what are we going to say? How about the person behind the camera, right?
What about
the person who funds only? Right?
Right, but they're not putting themselves out there in a public way necessarily.
That's true.
Okay,
There's a distinction.
but what about moms that like post swimsuit pictures on Instagram or Facebook?
The administrator specifically said that they are okay with any moms who want to show tits and ass for free. And they said, if you would like to vet
Did they
it-
really say
No,
that?
they- of course they
I relied on you to do the legal analysis. You're making jokes, and I'm like, this sounds like a
A
kangaroo
man can
court.
dream. They don't pay these school administrators enough.
If I'm being honest, a not insignificant portion of my fans on Instagram are gay men who
Oh,
just like looking at photos of me. So like, if I were to start fans, I do think it would be successful.
But what
I
would
just
you do
don't
with all the
want
money?
to.
What would you do with all the
That's
money?
a great
and the
point,
adoration.
yeah. As everyone always says.
so I haven't.
You can never have too
So-
little money.
So you're an attractive guy and you have a lot of gay fans because of it. Do you ever pander with the jokes? Do you ever do any jokes that require you to be shirtless or an ally?
Definitely ones that make me an ally, but it's
Okay.
not like in an inauthentic way.
Okay,
Nothing with my shirt off. But I will say
Did you
that.
just say yet?
Huh?
Did you say yet?
No, but you heard it because I was like telekinetically.
It's a Freudian slip on
Conveying
my part.
that, yeah.
I heard what I wanted to.
But I will play the game a little bit. Like if there's like a gay man flirting with me in my DMs, I will engage with that in a way that gets them to come to a show.
Yeah.
In a way that I would never do with a woman because it would be like disrespectful to my girlfriend.
Yeah.
But like if it's a gay guy, no harm, no foul.
I can
Go
see
ahead,
your
go
girlfriend going through the DMs being like, this shit is hilarious. And she's just
Oh
like
yeah,
loving it.
Yeah. Absolutely.
Not one of my proudest moments, but a little earlier in comedy, a couple years ago, I bit off a little more than I could chew.
Sure.
Independently producing a larger room that sat 200, which didn't seem like a big number to me at the time. But then I realized how hard it is to get 200 people to come to a live event. And I really valued my relationship with that club. So I really pulled out all the stops. And one of the stops was I found a little life hack. If you're starting out in comedy and you want it, here you go.
Did you go on Grindr?
No, very close though. For $1 at the time, I don't know if it's still true. You could get Bumble BFF Premium for $1 for like a 1 week trial, and Bumble BFF Premium has almost exclusively like gay guys on it.
Oh,
and so I made a profile for Bumble BFF, and it was like, hey, I'm a newer comedy producer. I literally was kind of honest. I was like, I bit off more than I can chew. I'm giving away free tickets, and I had like 60. 60 gay men come out to my comedy show.
Now, did you change your material or pander in any way?
No. Well, I addressed it. It head on. I was like, guys, you might be noticing something. A lot of my new friends came out, and then it was like, hey,
Came out.
it was like it was a Marvel show. So I produced a Marvel show. So like all the heroes were in costume. All the
You
comedians
assembled
were in
the gay
costume.
Avengers to attend the show?
The crowd was about half super Marvel fans dressed in Marvel costumes and half people that came to sleep with me. That was
love that.
It was 50-50.
Yeah.
And so I was like,
Isn't that a dream?
I just want to address the obvious.
What's the center of that Venn diagram? Was there anyone in it?
Yeah.
Me, I'm the center of the diagram. And so I addressed it early as the host. I was like, I would like to shout out to the gay community for supporting this show. We met through Bumble BFF. What's up? Because like it was obvious which and then there was the
so
people
funny.
like dressed as Black Widow and Spider-Man, and they were just like, hey, let's go. And it was a really fun show. Like people had I never replicated it. I never
Like
did
four
it
guys
again.
wearing Robin outfits that were like, "This is my jam. This is the Venn diagram."
I love the idea, though, that some of them were probably dressed in a way where you were like, is this cosplay or just this guy? Like, I don't...
right.
Not
Is
sure
this
which,
an obscure
which category to put
version
them
of
in.
Moon Knight's character outfit?
Yeah.
If you are an OnlyFans creator that has been discriminated or harassed, I want you to personally reach out to us on the show. Go add my Instagram. Tell us, send us the evidence. Show us what kind of tasteful content you're producing, and tell us how you've been discriminated. And we want to be behind. We want to represent you.
For less than a cup of coffee a day, you can
For
adopt an
less than a
OnlyFans
Red
model.
Bull sugar-free a day.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's a sketch, but that would be a funny sketch to see an OnlyFans creator who's like, for the cost of a cup of coffee a day, fuck those kids.
Fuck
You can
them
see
kids.
these titties. Hell yeah, Adam. Okay, what do you guys think at home? Jump in the comment section, like, subscribe, all that stuff. This is Hardly Legal. Don't forget to like and subscribe. We're going to be here for you when you need that cheap date.